So I separated from her. She went off with these guys that was trying to hook her up. And I started walking around Cleveland, Ohio. And only thing I knew what to do was I didn't have no wallet. I barely had any money to my name to go sit in a public spot. Try to get some help. Try to meet somebody. Because, I'm not from here. What the fuck else am I supposed to do? So I sit down at this bar. And I just sit there. Because I ain't had nowhere else to go. And needless to say, sooner or later, I run into this guy and his girlfriend and her friend or whatever. And, at the time, I was also filling out applications with a fake address. Fake address, as much information I could remember from my resume because I didn't have my resume on me. So, sooner or later, after filling out so many applications and realizing that I didn't even have a phone number, I literally had to keep walking back and forth just to check on them. And I only got my own clothes. That's all I got on me, so I didn't know what else to do. So I sat down in this public spot. And I don't remember the name of the bar, but I could definitely ID the bar exactly where I was at. Anyways, this white guy with a Pittsburgh hat came up to me and started talking, asked me if I wanted a cigarette, and I said no, and I gave him back to him. Afterwards, he offered to buy me some food, bought me some food. They ended up getting me a motel room. I was thankful for it. I had somewhere to sleep that night. Caught up on a little bit of sleep. And I don't know if this was after that. After that, next day, out of the motel room, I went back to public places. And as I started filling out more applications. I used to say I was in Cleveland, Ohio for about a week. It was all blurred because some nights I had to kind of stay up all night. Or a few days, almost a week. So I kept going to these public spots. And, well, as I was sitting down in these spots, I noticed that either the games would be on because it's right next to the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Cleveland Indians. The MLB stadium and the NBA stadium with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Cleveland Indians. Now, I started sitting down at these places, and I had nothing else to do because I didn't know who to speak to. I'd order water and just sit there and watch TV. And before I knew it, these people were talking. First it was I was watching an MLB game, and they said Perez wants him dead. I didn't know they was talking about me. I just got to Cleveland, Ohio. I didn't know nobody. How the fuck can anybody be talking about me? So I sat there watching. I just looked around because I didn't know what else to do. They said, well, they're gonna beat him over the head or something like that. So I kept going back and forth to different locations. And I just kept going from hotel to motels, trying to stay in the lobbies and in the bars. And they said that if I stayed out at night, that as soon as I fell asleep, that the skinheads were going to beat me over the head. And so I ended up after staying that night or whatever, I ended up going to this coffee shop called the Phoenix. And after I was sitting at the pizza joint and saying Perez wants him dead. I don't know if it was after or before, to be honest. Like I said, I still have to figure out the timing and the dates, but this all happened in the same period within a week in Cleveland, Ohio. So I sit down and I'm watching the Cleveland Cavaliers play either, I think it was the Toronto Raptors. I didn't later find out until later on that they were talking about me, that someone wanted me dead. LeBron James apparently was, some of the fans were sitting there, some of the players were sitting there saying he's a fan or something. Now, I will 100% admit, when I was in Tallahassee, I would watch a couple games with my brother, NBA games when he was on the Heat. It kind of reminded me of being connected to my family, so it was just connect me to memories. Now, it got to a point where they were sitting there talking, it was just loud as fuck, and I didn't know they were talking about me. It just seemed weird. Like I knew just the game was off, like what they were talking about. They saying, well, he's a fan. Apparently, they were going to set me up for murder. Somebody was going to set me up for murder. They were going to rig some game at a college game in Tallahassee. And they were going to set me up for murder. Now, because I didn't want to hate for the color of my skin, because I didn't want to join, apparently LeBron James said, fuck that, let him get sent for murder. Apparently they were going to kill a gentleman that was supposedly going to set up for murder was a black gentleman. They were going to frame me for murder, or murdering a black guy, because I didn't want to hate for the color of my skin. Just fucked up. Jonah Valanciunas says, "Well, I can get them to let him join. They'll let him join for me." And he admitted that he was a skin. And before I say this, because I don't want people to seem biased, Jonah Valanciunas probably had a lot more compassion. Although Jonah Valanciunas and James Harden had a lot more compassion than others. Just to make that clear. He said, but they're still going to cut his face or cut his tongue out. He said, ain't nothing I can do about that, but they'll let him join for me. So my options is join a clique that I don't want to join, which LeBron James said just because he don't want to join a clique, like it was something. People don't set out to be gangsters. We don't fucking come out of the womb as fucking kids sitting there saying, well, what are you going to be when you grow up? A motherfucking gangster. That's what the fuck I want to be. Some people literally come out of the womb, grow up, and they say, well, guess what? I'm going to raise a family. I'm going to live peacefully. I'm going to be a fucking law-abiding citizen, raise a family, try to make a decent living. Nobody just sets out to be gangsters. So, sitting there, a lot of different dynamics are said, and then they said on the NBA game that Perez wanted me dead. Again, they said again. LeBron James says, fucking Perez, like he's done it before. Like, fucking Perez. Like, motherfucker. And it just seemed weird because at the time I didn't realize that it was all pertaining to me. I'm like, I didn't even know who the fuck Perez was. So, and then LeBron James said it wouldn't be good if somebody rich killing somebody that was poor. Wouldn't be good killing somebody that was rich. Somebody that was rich killing somebody that was poor. So, any other time murders is conceivable action. Good to know. So, Anyways, coaches are talking about this. And everybody's like upset. And I don't know how in the fuck people are knowing where I'm at. And technically, I'm literally baffled at the situation. I don't really know how to handle the situation. It was kind of surreal. But, so, afterwards, I go to a Phoenix coffee shop, or said something like, Phoenix coffee shop. And even the coffee people in the Phoenix coffee shop was saying Roberto Perez wants him dead. So I get pissed off. I get pissed off because I'm tired. I'm sleep deprived. I had enough. I'm completely fucking stressed out. I said, who the fuck is Roberto Perez? And what the fuck does he have anything to do with me? Fuck Roberto Perez. I ain't got nothing. Oh, I didn't say fuck Roberto Perez, but fuck Roberto Perez. I didn't say it then, but I'm saying it now. So what does he have to do with me? They said because I didn't know who he was, he said it was disrespectful. Supposedly, that's what was said. And the way I said it was disrespectful. So I ended up walking to several different places. And I go to this main hotel, little glamorous, got like a vault door at the restaurant that was in there. And I'm just trying not to get beaten over the head. I sit down. And I sit next to this guy that's had a couple drinks, and he says he works for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'm talking to the bartender. He said, I tell you what. Well, he said he's on the management or something like that. And for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He said, I tell you what, I'm going to get you a room. Tell me you don't have to do that. He said, no, I'm going to get you a room. He gives me a room. I'm thinking, maybe they're trying to help me. I still haven't figured out who the fuck Roberto Perez was yet. But at this point in time, I was just thankful to have help. So, I go and he buys me a hamburger, buys me something to eat. Gives me 3 different vouchers, $10 vouchers for the restaurant. So I go and I talk to the bartender for a while. He said, just talk to the bartender, just chill out, relax. I go upstairs. Somehow I was being watched or something. But I take off my socks. The socks were completely crusted. I've been walking in them for weeks. And I haven't changed. So I wash my socks in the sink with just water. Whatever shampoo, soap I could find. As much as I could. I couldn't even dry them out in time. I take a shower. I'm crying in the shower. And I've done through crying. I get in bed, I'm just lying there and I can't stop crying. I'm thankful to be in bed after what I went through. It's the first time I've actually got to relax, feel safe. I was so thankful I didn't even touch the minibar. Because when I got up there was all kinds of different food just next to the bed. Prosciutto, whatever, grapes, pineapples, just all kinds of different food. Oh, before that, now I think about it, I was at the grocery store there. It's a big grocery store that's in Cleveland, Ohio, right there in the same area. And a gentleman bought me food there. And I had the Tupperwares, and I ate the food there. I ate some of that food there, and I remember having the Tupperwares there. So I'll take some of the food that was in the room. Because that's the reason why I told the guy that he didn't have to buy me food or whatever. He was already getting me a room. I didn't have to need food. He said, no, eat another burger or something like that. So I take the Tupperware I had from the food that was bought by the gentleman in the grocery store. Beautiful grocery store. I remember looking up the paintings, just trying to, I guess, get my mind out of the environment in which it was in. It was just being isolated. So I just kept looking up at the selling of the paintings and the design and architecture. It's a 2-story store, grocery store. But so I take the Tupperware I had from the gentleman buying me food at the grocery store, and I get a few hours of sleep while I'm there. And somehow there's somebody either listening for me in the next room over or something like that, because I could hear them talking. But anyways, and nowadays it's easy as fucking hacking a fucking baby monitor, so it's not a fucking general concept that's over exaggerated, I guess. So I take the leftover food the next morning, and I put it in Tupperware, trying to save it for later, because I didn't know what I was going to eat. Didn't know nothing. And go downstairs, eat some pancakes, and I asked for a razor, and I got a shave for the first time in a minute. And so I go down there and eat some pancakes with Nutella, and I eat something else, I think. I remember being very thankful as I left there. I still didn't know what to do. So I filled out a little bit more applications or whatever. I filled out so many different applications, so many different spots. Chocolate bar, the Blues Cinema, Italian restaurants. I was in several different locations where I just didn't know what to do, so I just filled out applications with fake addresses, trying to find somebody to help. But after I left there, I went there, went to the church. Church finally gave me a jacket and some gloves. But before that, before I got to the church, before I got the jackets and gloves, I went there, and I didn't have nowhere to stay, and people were just circling me, pretty much. It's like either the skinheads or somebody else wanted me dead. And Roberto Perez wanted me dead. And so they said if I slept in on church that night. I remember being so fucking cold I couldn't feel my toes, my feet. And all I had my hoodie, and I just took my hoodie and just covered my legs. That's all I knew what to do. So I slept outside of a church. Next morning, whatever, when the church opened up, I went in there, they gave me a jacket and gloves, and I asked to use the church. I sat there, said what I needed to say. And because of the way I spoke or whatever, they said Perez found it disrespectful or something. I guess he was telling me how I should pray or not. But afterwards, I don't give a fuck, really. At this point, I really don't give a fuck. So I walk out and I got a coat. It starts to rain. Trying to find a place to stay dry. And I'm going back and forth to different locations, just trying to find a job. And they said they were going to still beat me over the head. So I ended up tucking off into this motel room. No, not motel room, but a motel. And I talked to the bartender. I ordered a couple of sodas. And I'm watching another LeBron's game. Because naturally, Cleveland Cavaliers playing Cleveland. They're going to have it on the fucking screen. So, So I'm sitting there and I'm watching the game, and they're still talking about it. They're still talking about all the different dynamics. I look behind me and I see a guy from my past. I don't know if it's the guy from my past, but he favors the guy from my past. I asked him if his name was Chris. He said, yeah. And this time the Houston Rockets came on, and James Harden is sitting there saying he's not that bad. He's not that bad of a guy. And I guess because they thought I might have been gay or something, I don't fucking know. But I went up there and slept in the room, trying to just pretty much trying to find somewhere safe to sleep. And I wasn't gonna sleep on the floor. James Harden says, well, he says that he ain't gay. Of course I ain't fucking gay. Nothing wrong with being gay. My best friend was gay. I'm not gay. But anyways, it doesn't have anything to fucking do with my sexuality. My sexuality is my own. It's my right as an American citizen. Anyways, I go to the bathroom and I'm thinking this is the same Chris from my past. I'm debating because they're already gonna frame me. Why not get some get back? I decided not to. Chris says he's leaving the next day to go back to Meadville, Pennsylvania. I asked him if I can go with him. And he said, yeah. And when I first saw him in the hotel or whatever, I bawled my fucking eyes out. So, he said he has to get a tattoo tomorrow. 3 Pokemon balls with a Pikachu. He likes to play that Pokemon game or whatever. And afterwards, next day, wake up, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's talking about the situation. And it's starting to get loud a little bit, I guess. They're not even trying to hide it. Afterwards, we get in the car, go to the tattoo shop, wait on the guy there, wait a little while, get some food. Got me a biscuit bowl. He gets his tattoo. We sit there and watch some episodes on Netflix of The Girl in San Francisco. And I remember trying to get for San Francisco because I'm thinking there's less skinheads there. It'd probably be a good place to get there too because there's less skinheads there. Probably be a little bit safer. I mean, I don't hate them, so probably be a little bit safer. All these different dynamics playing in your mind when you're trying to survive. All these different scenarios, outcomes, variables, environment. You watch hands, you do all these dynamics to make sure that you survive. So we drive back to Meadville. I sleep in the car. Sleep in his car. He gets some food from the hot dog stand that his family works at. Or he works at what his family and his family owns. I sleep in the car out in the parking lot with the windows rolled up. Next couple nights I sleep on the floor. Neighbors downstairs are sitting there talking about how Roberto Perez said he wants my fucking legs broken with a bat. So while he's at his job, I walk around town. So at one point there was a point where I'm sitting at this restaurant. And like I said, I don't know exactly the timeline, exactly which way it coordinates. So I'm sitting at a restaurant. And I'm remembering memories of my past. Remembering my old relationship, the outcome of my old relationship. I'm just thinking how things could be different. I remember that I was apologizing to somebody that wasn't there. Everybody kept saying, at the bus station, because I was at a bus station in Cleveland, Ohio, because several times I went back to the bus station trying to get out, but I didn't have a bus ticket. And later on, I met Chris, but everybody kept saying that because Roberto Perez won't be dead or whatever, that that now Trejo was looking for me. I didn't even know what the fuck Trejo was. Technically, I didn't hear nothing about Trejo. I just knew Roberto Perez wanted me dead. It wasn't until later on I heard about Trejo. But there were several times I was at a Greyhound station and a bus station where either I was supposed to be cut, stabbed, or fucking shot. But that's just the first. This is just the first part of the saga of hoes clapping ass. Why I call them hoes? Because they didn't have the status, they'd be soft and moist and supple.